Kayla from Kayla Crochet Love, and welcome to episode 35. I just had to check. If you're new to my channel, welcome. It's nice to see you here, and if you are returning, of course, it's always lovely to see you here. It's been a couple of weeks, I believe. I'm sure I'm not the only one who agrees that time is just kind of a blur right now. Can't remember what day it is, and I'm still working my normal amount, really, so I don't know why. I guess it's because my husband's home right now with everything going on. So I work at an essential retail store, so I'm pretty much doing my usual thing, but a lot more stressful. So yeah, maybe that's why I come home and I just kind of crash. So there's a few days there, like there was actually probably about a solid week where I didn't really do any crocheting or knitting or anything. I would come home and I would do nothing. On my days off, I would do nothing. Just I guess the stress just kind of got to me and I just didn't feel like doing anything, so I didn't force myself to do anything. But then I probably wouldn't say a week, probably a few days. And then the bug hit me and I just kind of crocheted quite a bit. So I will share with you what I have done. I actually have no works in progress. I've been starting a project and finishing a project, so I'm pretty proud of myself. So first thing I'll talk about is what I'm wearing. So this is a cowl. You would have seen it on my last episode. That might be the seam there, I don't know. But anyways, I will take it off. And you have to forgive my hair. I haven't got my hair cut since December, so it's just kind of everywhere. But you know what? I don't care. So anyway. So I started this cowl a couple weeks ago. And I really like how the colors have pooled in it. So it's just a really simple cowl. I didn't use a pattern. I just kind of made it up as I went. So I just started with a chain and I connected it together, and then I did some 2x2 ribbing so it has a nice stretch. And then I did just some houndstooth patterning. So I did the one row where it was single crochet, double crochet all the way around. The next row was double crochet in the single crochets and single crochet in the double crochets. And I just alternated the colors, and then I didn't cut any yarn. I stranded it on the inside, but I don't even know where my seam would be on the inside. Oh, see, right there. You can, I don't know if you can see it. Right here, you can kind of see the little yarn strands here. So it was really easy to do, and it didn't take me very long, and it is so squishy soft. And I like how this one turned out really close to my neck. I didn't block it because I was worried if I blocked it, it would be too drapey. I wanted it nice and close for when I go for walks and stuff with the dogs, and it's just really nice. And I love the colors. So I used, the black is Estelle double knit, and there's no color names, but there's 250 meters. It's 50% acrylic, 40% wool, and 10% nylon. So that's the black. And then the pinky red orangey color is Dragon Strings, which you guys know I love her yarn. And this is her Fenrir. So it's a DK as well. It's 80% superwash merino, 10% cashmere, 10% nylon, and the colorway name is Violently Feminine, and there's 246 yards. And I still have quite a bit of that left. So I used up pretty much all the black. I had a little ball left, which I didn't bring it with me, so I had about this much left of the black. And I still have a nice little bit of the dragon strings left, so I can do something with that. That will be at a later date. Just put that there. I'll put it in my stash after. So that's that. I also finished, so on my last episode I was working on the Lean On Me Asymmetrical Shawl by Stitch with Passion. I'll see if I can pull up a picture. You can see it, so it's that there. And I will link to the pattern down below. It's a free pattern. And it's quite simple, and I think it looks really nice. So for this one I use Northern Lights One Ball One Shawl, and it is a DK weight as well. Although it's like a roving, so it kind of gets a little thicker at certain parts. So there's 492 yards, and it doesn't have a color name to it. So there is a knitting pattern on the label for, I guess, for this shawl, but I didn't want to knit, so I crocheted this one. And I like how it looks, however, I don't think it's going to be big enough. I think I'm either going to have to wait and see if I can get another ball of this color, or maybe add another color eventually when I can get yarn, because it's not nearly big enough. It looks really big on camera, but it's not even quite my wingspan. So, but I love how it looks. Oops. So it's an asymmetrical shawl. So it does look, I love the way the colors look. And the spacing here. I haven't blocked it. I think this is an acrylic yarn, I forgot to tell you that. So it's 95% premium acrylic and 5% viscose. So I don't know how much it would actually block because of the acrylic in it. But I also didn't want to block it yet because I want to add more to it eventually. So, because I don't think it'll be big enough to wrap around. Really? Could do it like that, maybe. That's not so bad, but it would probably be really finicky, but it's not too bad. But I like it. I love this yarn. As most rovings, it is a pain to frog, but if you take your time, frogging's honestly not that bad either. So, yeah, I'm happy with that too. Even though it's a little small, I still love it. And I love, like, the colors in this. I just love the colors in this yarn. And they have a bunch of different colors in this yarn, so I'm just going to try and fold it up a little bit. I'm putting this back on because my craft room is cold. And we have the heat turned off right now because we have all the windows upstairs open because it's really nice out today. So we have the windows open to try and get some of the dryness out of the house. And because my husband and I have a bit of a cough just from it being so dry, because when we're outside and stuff, we're fine. And once we open the windows for a bit, we're fine too, so. Anyways, enough about the dryness in my house. The other night, I wanted something just, well, the past couple nights, I wanted something kind of mindless to work on. So I pulled out some cotton that I've had, and I've been working on more of the Primrose dishcloths. So if you've been following me for a while, you know, last spring, summer, I kind of went on a kick and I just made quite a few of them, and I talked about them a lot. I believe this is a Yarn Inspirations pattern. I will again link to it down below. It's really simple. So I used Estelle Suds for these ones. I bought this yarn a little while ago. And so they're 50-gram balls, 100% cotton, and they're 74 meters in each little ball, and there's no color name. So I made this green one. The lighting's pretty bad, so this is supposed to be like a greeny blue yellow. Kind of see it back here. It looks better back here. There's supposed to be like a little tab to hang it, but we don't tend to hang our dishcloths like that, so I just opted to not do that. So I made this green one, and I made this purpley one with, so they do have speckles in them. I really like this cotton. It's really soft and it doesn't split, so I really like it, and it glides really nice with the hook. See, if I hold it up against the purple, you can see it's more like a green and yellow and blue. So then I had some leftovers of those, but not enough to make a whole dishcloth, so I made a little one. So I just didn't do as many rounds, so I just made a little one. So there's the size difference. So I did the middle, the green, and then I did purple. And then I still had some left, so I just decided to see how far I could go with the rest of what I had. And I did have some scrap of another ball, and I still have this much left. So I did this one. So this one's just kind of wacky. So I started with the green, went to purple, and I was almost able to do it, but I had to add in a little bit of pink. So, but that's okay. So I made these, and I do want to make more because I know my mom was wanting some. So I do have some more cotton. I have some of this Bernat cotton, and it's not as nice to work with, but it's not bad either. So yeah, some dishcloths, and then with the rest of the pink, well, almost the rest of the pink, I just made a little face scrubby with the. So this doesn't have a pattern. I just kind of did some puff stitches in a circle. So I started with 6, and then I increased and I increased, and then I did some single crochets, and then I just did back and forth to do this and slip stitched to the other side. So just a little face scrubby, just to use up some of my scraps. So that's that. Okay, and the next thing I made, so I bought this book a while ago, a few months ago, I don't know when, but it's been a little while, and because I've knit socks, but I had never crocheted socks, and then I saw this book at Michael's, so I decided to buy it. So the other day, I was trying to think of the next thing I wanted to crochet, and I just got inspiration to make socks, so I found this pattern. Try not to show too much. So it's just for these little ankle socks. And so I grabbed the yarn. So when I bought the book, I had bought some yarn too. I bought, the ball's very flat because I use a lot of it. It's called, so it's by Loops and Threads, and it's called The Perfect Pair. So it makes a whole pair of socks. So there's 454 yards. It's a super fine yarn, so like a fingering weight. And this is, the colorway is Born to Run. And it's 70% acrylic and 23% viscose from bamboo and 7% polyester. So there's no wool in this at all. So that's the label. And that's the color. Like I said, the ball's really floppy because I made a pair of socks. And I actually made the whole pair. I was afraid that when I finished the first one, I would have second sock syndrome and I wouldn't want to make the second one. But I didn't. And it took me a few days. But they worked out pretty fast. compared to knitting socks. My last pair of knitted socks took me like 8 months. Probably more, I don't know. So, they did turn out a little big. I didn't gauge swatch because I just wanted to see if I understood the construction, which the instructions in this book were really good. And I found I might have needed to go down a hook size because they're a little bit, like, the spacing's a little wider than I'd like. So anyways, these are my socks. You can tell they're big. My sock blockers are too small too. So I'll do like this. So these are the socks I managed to make. So they start with the cuff. I did the cuff differently. I will, just because I don't like the way they did the ribbing, so I just did it my own way, but I used the same stitch count and everything. So yeah, and I'm really happy with how the striping turned out, even in crochet, because I know a lot of the striping, self-striping yarns with crochet don't turn out quite as well, but with this one it didn't turn out too bad. And I tried to color control it enough so when I started the second sock it would be pretty close, and I didn't do too bad. So yeah, you can tell my sock blockers are a little too small. And they're a little big on my feet, but they're for just around the house anyways. But I really liked this yarn. It's pretty soft for not having any wool or anything in it. Didn't split, it didn't give me any issues. Yeah, it's just a pretty good yarn. So I'm very happy with these, and now I can wear them. Again, I didn't block them because they can go right in the wash because there's no wool in them. But I probably won't throw them in the dryer. Actually, it should say on here. I don't know any of these little... Okay, here we go. Wash in water at delicate setting. And so you can tumble dry it on low heat. So that's good to know. Oh, and so there is a pattern for the socks on the label of this yarn too, but they're knitted. So I wanted crochet socks and I'm happy I did them. There is a few things I did change though, like I said, so I changed the cuff and I also changed the toe a little bit because I just didn't like the way it was finished off, so I just tweaked it a little bit to my liking, and I loved them. So yeah. And that's it for my crochet. I have no acquisitions because everything around here is closed, although a lot of the local yarn stores are still doing like you can order online, but I haven't really needed anything. I haven't really had much for inspiration. I think that's why I did the dishcloths the past couple nights, because I haven't had any inspiration for what I want to make. Usually my mom and I discuss that stuff, and I haven't been able to see her in a couple weeks because of everything going on. I talk to her on the phone, but it's just not the same, because we usually show each other what we've worked on. So I've just been kind of browsing through Ravelry, watching my fellow YouTubers, seeing if anything inspires me. I did try knitting one thing, I can't remember what it was called, but I made a little bit of it and then I lost interest pretty fast. So obviously my brain's just not in the right space to do any form of knitting, which I'm okay with, but I'm just not forcing myself to do anything that I just really don't want to do right now when it comes to my crocheting and stuff. So yeah, I have nothing else to share with you guys. I'm exhausted, so I think I'm just gonna go upload this and relax for the rest of the day. And then I have to work tomorrow. So anyways, take care of yourselves. Please be safe out there. And I'll talk to you guys later. Bye guys.